Griffin. How are you?
I've got allergies.
You got allergies. All right. Well, Dr. McKenzie can help you. I'm telling you. All right.
I don't doubt it.
Got a question for you. This whole thing that went down with the embassies. I was just reading a couple of articles that since about 2009 there have been huge discussions about with the State Department about lack of security at these embassies. Do you think that's going to get on the front burner now?
Yeah. I mean,
the horse is out of the barn.
I just walked up to the chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee, which I'm a member of, and I just asked her off the top of my head, I said, do we really need serious intelligence gathered to know that Egypt and Libya are potentially dangerous? I mean, we know this, and we also know that uprisings like this could occur at just about any time. These are by their nature unstable environments, right? And it seems to me we got to gather all the facts. Obviously, we don't want to prejudge the situation, but I don't think it's prejudging to start asking, why do we have 4 people dead, including an ambassador, and why did we not have security of our own? I'm not talking about hiring some outfit, who's some foreign outfit or whatever. And again, we got to get all the facts. But it just seems to me, if we're going to have people in these countries, we need to be prepared for this type of contingency, because it's too late when you got to fly folks in when you got a dead ambassador. It's just an outrage. We got to collect the facts. But my first reaction is, this should have never happened. Obviously, the violence and the murder were unjustified. We should never apologize for free speech. And at a minimum, we ought to be prepared when we've got people in countries where this sort of thing goes on.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Why are we outside contracting security? In this instance, we know that there was some Libyan security forces.
Issue.
I mean, that's kind of like letting the fox in the hen house, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing we're going to have to learn more about. I mean, these are decisions that are made, I'm sure, within the agencies, and not something that we vote on. But I can tell you that this is going to get a whole bunch of microscopic attention now.
Yeah, let's just put some of our Marines over there. I mean, they know what to do with a rifle.
Well, Marines are the typical security structure for an embassy.
Yes.
My view would be, you need more security, you get more Marines.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what somebody was thinking on this, but we better get to the bottom of it. And if this was some sort of planned attack, regardless of whether it was or not, we need to. Well, if it was, we need to know why we didn't know about it. But we need to act swiftly. Need to do the right thing, but we need to act swiftly and make sure whoever did this is brought to justice. And we sure as heck don't need to be cutting checks to people who are killing our people. And again, we got to get the facts. We got to know who those people are. But there are a lot of questions that need to be raised, both on Foreign Affairs Committee and Armed Services Committee, upon which I sit on both of those. So going to be a lot of questions asked, and we'll need to get some answers. But this is it's just a tragedy.
Yeah, hey, I got a question for you, Congressman. Are you guys going to be telling the president, just saying, look, we're not going to write the check for $1 billion to Egypt until we know what's going down?
Well, there's some folks. I don't know if you've seen the press yet, but that's been the general theme already today. There's some discretion within the budgets that the president gets. But I tell you, I've been one who's advocated for vigorous oversight in this area. We passed a bill, and this is an aside, but it just isn't a good example. We passed a bill in the Foreign Affairs Committee, I think it was this year, whereby if you are a country that votes against us in the United Nations, you are ineligible for foreign aid. And that, a lot of more sophisticated people than I am may say, well, that's just nonsense. Let me tell you, that's common sense. If you're going to be giving countries cash, we ought to expect them to fall into line when our interests are at stake. This isn't beanbag. This is serious stuff, and we're cutting checks to some of these countries. We need to be making sure that money goes where we want it to go. We need to be holding them accountable, and
Yeah, I'm with you. You got a lot of questions instead of a lot of answers. And one last thing, when you get an opportunity on your committee and you got people in front of you, could you ask them how asphyxiation causes somebody to die from stomach bleeding? Because I've had several calls today from medical people who say that is not possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, you give me a whole list of all the questions.
I can give you a lot of them, Congressman.
And when I get my 5 minutes, I'll try to. I can always submit multiple questions in writing.
Right.
Sometimes it takes a little longer, but anyway. We'll have to talk about my allergy later.
All right. We appreciate it, Congressman. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you all.
All right.
Sorry for interrupting.
That's all right. Congressman Tim Griffin here on the Dave Elswick Show on KARN. We'll get back to